Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about some groups that, in my opinion, flopped this year. So, as usual, I want to start clarifying what I mean by flopping. In my opinion, a group can flop in two ways. A group simply lost their popularity and all the hype around them. Or, the group flopped musically. More simply, they released music I find uninspiring and boring, but they didn't flop popularity-wise. Let's start with the group that fell off musically and not popularity-wise. AKA, they released horrible-ass music this year. This part of the video is based on my tastes, so if you disagree don't trash me in the comments and express your own opinion instead. So, I guess I'll dive into talking about them first, just to give all the boy group stans a chance to get mad and exit the video. But on a serious note, their first comeback wasn't all that bad. Sugar Rush Ride was, without a doubt, one of their projects that I enjoyed the most, both visually and musically. The issue here is that I liked the idea behind it, not the execution. I mean, seriously, I was listening to it, vibing along, and then the chorus hit. I closed my tab faster than you can say TXT and never went back to that album. Some of the B-sides from their first comeback were cute, though. Now, I'm throwing them into the mix because of their second album, named Chapter Freefall or something like that, featuring the title track Chasing the Feeling, or, as I like to call it, Chasing the Bed because, honestly, listening to this song just makes me want to catch some Z's. It's as boring as it gets. Even the music video is a snooze fest, reminding me a bit too much of Jungkook's 7, but worse and overall, utterly forgettable. Please, TXT, go back to being emo. Also, let's talk about their collaborations this year with the Jonas Brothers and Anita. Didn't vibe with any of them. They just did what every K-pop group does when they make an English song, a generic 2010s pop song. Overall, it's been a musically dull year for them. TWICE is a special case because they not only lost a lot of popularity compared to the early years of their career, but their music this year just wasn't interesting. We only saw one comeback from them this year featuring the title track Set Me Free. It was exceptionally boring, made no noise, and overall, very lackluster. Even Jinyo's solo, while not terrible, was nothing mind-blowing and flopped in the charts. Their English release, Moonlight Sunrise, was a bit better, but it still contributed to an overall disappointing year for TWICE. This is especially disheartening considering their proven ability to produce much better music, as seen in tracks like Alcohol Free. I think TWICE, as a group, has reached a point where they've lost the identity that made them super popular as a cutesy kind of group, and now they seem a bit lost. We're aware that JYP groups often struggle with concept changes, as observed with ITZY too. However, what's perplexing is that TWICE has previously released songs that are a bit more mature, like Alcohol Free or even their Japanese release Perfect World, which were good. So, why are their recent releases so lackluster? I just don't get it. I can't remember the last time I fell in love with a TWICE comeback. Their music in the past 1/2 years has been just meh. Am I the only one that feels this way? So, before you dive into the comments section, let me clarify, I genuinely enjoyed their first comeback earlier this year. I Am was a very fun title track and presented a more mature interpretation of their elegant concept. Even some B-sides from the first album they dropped this year were good, like Hypnosis and Cherish. However, their second comeback with the album I've Mine featuring 3 title tracks, Off the Record, Either Way, and Baddie, was perhaps the first I've comeback that I didn't like at all. Frankly, I didn't even listen to it much, and it seems I'm not the only one, considering it's the comeback that received the least attention from the general public. I found this second album to be quite messy, lacking a connection between the songs. Of the 3, Off the Record is the one I like the most, but it's still a weak title track. Either Way didn't strike me as a title track, it felt more like a B-side at best. Baddie, on the other hand, was a complete miss in my opinion. It was out of character for them and just not a good song. Overall, it's a big letdown from a group I admired for maintaining a clear and strong elegant concept. They used to produce music that felt consistently fresh and fun. Unfortunately, this last era didn't captivate me. In my view, they tried to juggle too many things, especially with 3 title tracks and music videos, and as a result, none of them hit the mark as perfectly as their previous projects. Let's move on to listing some groups that just lost popularity but not necessarily 'cause their music got worse. I think we all saw this coming because, to put it nicely, they might be the ones who fell off the most this year. It's a shame because their music has improved lately. Giddy and Galileo, their 2 latest releases, were decent if not nice. However, the first year of their career was a total mess, with a very messy artistic direction and overall bad music. I fear it might be too late, and there's no way back from this. When I say messy, I mean that sometimes they drop something decent, but the lows, oh lord, they were really low. Yes, I'm talking about We Fresh. It's crazy to see a group whose debut was highly anticipated now being one or two comebacks away from New Gudem. It's also insane to think they have one of the most viewed debut songs in the 4th gen. There was a lot of hype around them, viewing them as version 2.0 of ITZY 1. In my opinion, they either should have stuck with the kind of music they make now or something like their second comeback, Up. Overall, probably the group with the biggest wasted potential in this video. So, I feel kinda bad putting ITZY in this video because it seems like there's a trend of saying they are one of the biggest flops of the 4th generation. Not in the sense that they are nougas, but in the sense that they've lost the most amount of support among the big groups of the 4th generation. I made a whole video about it, giving my explanation for why they fell off so much. If I could understand why people were complaining last year because both Sneakers and Cheshire were not particularly interesting as title tracks, even if I personally liked Cheshire, this year, all the music they released was good. Cake was a fun title track, and I even liked their Japanese release Ringo, but they still failed to grab the public's attention like their past releases such as Not Shy or Dala Dala. I just think that their public image is so stained by now that ITZY could release the best music ever, and people would still not care as much as before. Also, the recently a hiatus and the vibe that the group gives just give me the impression that the girls are really tired. Is it just me? They just seem to not have as much fun as before. It's just a personal impression, but I feel sorry for them because they don't deserve that. Once again, here comes another group that everyone is eagerly anticipating in this video. What I am pleased about is that, just a year ago, I would have categorized them with the groups that released bad music. Ironically, they remind me a little bit of Baba Monster. Both had debut songs that were highly anticipated, generating immense pre-debut hype, yet their actual debut songs left many people unsatisfied. Unfortunately, the first year of their debut was chaotic, leading to them not achieving the success they could have, considering the talent they possess and the quality of the music they have been releasing lately, which is genuinely good. Even their latest release, Sonar, was decent, not my favorite, but it's better and more interesting than 70% of this year's K-pop releases. It's disheartening to see groups that release much more boring music surpass them in charts and views. To be completely honest, I believe that Baba Monster might end up in a similar situation. Of course, that's not my wish, and I hope for a bright future for them, but their career so far is reminding me a lot of NMIXX. Having said that, I hope that NMIXX will gain more public recognition next year and keep improving their music quality like they've been doing lately. So, that's it for this video. Do you agree with me? What groups fell off in your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Also, this is a small channel, and every kind of support is appreciated, so consider subscribing and leaving a like. Bye bye.